Hey everyone, this is Adnan with Caleb's training videos. Uh, we are configuring Exchange 2010. This is part 6 of this video series. In part 5, we started working with CAS, Client Access Server role. We went through a few of the options and we saw CAS under organization. In this video, I'm going to show you other protocols that works with CAS. Let's get started. So in the previous video we saw CAS under organization. There are two policies for this. Then there is CAS under servers. In CAS under server, first of all, here it shows the servers that has CAS role. So two servers have CAS role here, and if you need to see how many mailbox servers we have, you can go here. It shows you mailbox server role, along with it shows you other roles that are sitting on the same server. So CAS OWA, we already know that OWA is one of the clients where we log in and check emails. Now OWA is configured from here. In the last video we did configure a simpler name for OWA by setting up a webmail, by setting up a DNS CNAME. Actually we created two records with the same name with two IP addresses, which is right here. So we created these two names. Now guys, just to make one more comment on this, as we create records with the same name with different IP addresses, this will act as a round robin network load balancing, NLB. So whenever DNS receives the request from a client to connect to CAS, the first request goes to the first server, second request goes to this, third goes to this, fourth goes to this, fifth goes to this, sixth goes to this, meaning DNS will automatically load balance both of the CAS servers by using these names. But this is not, it is doing basic NLB, but but this is not a professional way of doing it, because there are some flaws here. For example, one of them is if one server is really dead or crashed, DNS will still keeps on sending requests to this server, because DNS has no way of finding out that if this server is not available. So although it is doing NLB, but this is not an effective NLB that is used in the environments. So anyways, we did configure that. Now along with CAS, there is the second thing that is called ECP. Now ECP is Exchange Control Panel. It's a new feature within Exchange, and main purpose of ECP, once we jump onto ECP, it also has a website. In order to connect to ECP, it's the same thing, same Exchange server name, and then at the end it's just the word ECP. Now since we do have two records, we can change it to webmail, or we can go to Exchange and create two other records for saying ECP or giving them a simpler name. But here for now I'll just connect to this ECP. If you need to connect to ECP, all you need to do, copy this link, and then right from here you connect to ECP. Now whoever is logged on in this browser, it will connect using that user. So for now let's try into MLE, as I'm logged into OVA in MLE. So now this is ECP. This is user's view of ECP. So user can see his own profile, his display name, his email address, and then he can see some email inbox rules as well. The user can create rules for himself as well. User can see which groups he's part of. User can see some settings under these. User can see his devices, his smartphones if they are configured, and then block or allow list. Again, it's rules. User can kind of block or allow, like maintaining the junk email settings. So this is a user's view. Now this is first time added, and it is in server in Exchange 2010 to give users some kind of control on their properties, on their mailbox. Uh, I think this is to reduce the number of help desk calls. Uh, I mean, still, if users are not technical enough, they can still go call the help desk uh, for any questions, any problems. But it's really a user-friendly view. It's really a user-friendly view. So here now let me log off from here and show you an admin view. For admin, they've added few things here. Let me log off. Let me log in with administrator. And with administrator has some more. Administrator has a different view. Number one, administrator can do exchange admin tasks while admin is logged in. Let's let's wait and see. So so it took few minutes. But it loaded everything. So here, this is administrator view, and in administrator view here, administrator can see all the users within the organization, all types of mailboxes. User wants to see just users mailboxes, user want to see room mailboxes, all are here. And then not only this, administrator can see the distribution groups or external contacts as well. Administrator can create new distribution group, and administrator can see the roles and auditing. So these are all of the exchange groups that are created when the first time exchange is installed. And as you can see, this is just administrator view. And so these are the groups that are created the first time when the exchange is installed. If I can show you in Active Directory, these all same groups exist here. You can add or remove people to these groups. Now these are security groups that are automatically added with Exchange installation. These are built-in groups, just like Windows provides some built-in group. Exchange automatically creates this OU and creates these groups. In these groups, the most significant is the organization management. Whoever is part of this group will be a full Exchange admin person. You can see a recipient management. Whoever is part of this group can manage mailboxes, recipients. And then there is servers group. Then there is one more that is used in the environment that is known as view only organization management. So for the help desk people, if they want to see just view configuration. So same groups are available in ECP as well. Server management, recipient management, organization management, and then and then it gives them some help, and it shows who is the member of this. Now in this, if we click the details, you can add or remove people as well. So guys, the main idea to show you Exchange control panel is is another way for it provides an administrator another way to manage Exchange remotely. Now as you can see, this link should be accessible on any machine. So if I go onto a client machine, if I go to a client machine and log in with this here, oops. Oh, it was not copied properly. One more time. So same thing, if administrator logs in here, meaning administrator can do remote management of Exchange server. This is very good option. So as you can see, I'm not logged into any of the Exchange server, but I can still see all users. Not only I can see users, but I can actually see their details here. User detail, I can make changes as Exchange admin. So this is Exchange control panel. Other than this, one more important thing is phones and devices. Many times in real environments, some phones are blocked, some phones are deactivated. So admin can go to ECP from any machine, his own client machine or any machine, and then can allow or block those phones here as well. So this is ECP. Now going back to CAS role, then we have ActiveSync Exchange. So these are Exchange ActiveSync settings. How people will be logging in to Exchange ActiveSync. Here they have what kind of authentication they will have, remote server, same setting that we saw in webmail, which files they can open, which files they cannot open, and all those things. Now the word ActiveSync, you should remember that this is for smartphone, the smartphones who are trying to access email from their smartphone. So this is that setting. Then we have offline address book. So this is offline address book settings here. So basically from here you can see the URL whatever the offline address book is configured. So offline address book that we saw earlier in mailbox, so these are currently offline address books. So if some people need to access it from a URL, it can be accessed from here. So the last thing here in CAS is POP3 and IMF4 protocol. Now these both protocols are used again as a client to Exchange. Just like we can use OWA to send and receive to connect to Exchange server through CAS, we can connect through POP3 and IMF4 as well. Now most of the time POP3 and IMF4 is used by websites when the website needs to send out emails. This protocol is also used for receiving emails into Exchange. Most of the time this protocol is not used within the corporate environment. Why? Because normally most of the corporate environment would use Outlook, just like we have Outlook right here, Microsoft Outlook, and Outlook uses RPC over MAPI, or MAPI over RPC protocol that has more features, whereas POP3 can be used by non-MAPI clients. Now, in previous versions, we used to have Outlook Express that used to be available to all the Windows machine till XP, and I think till Windows Professional as well. But with Windows 7, they cut off the support for my Outlook Express, and Outlook Express used to use this protocol. And this protocol can be used with many other non-Microsoft clients or websites. So here I'm going to show you how to work with this protocol. So in order for Exchange to allow this protocol to work by default in all Exchange systems, this protocol is disabled. For example, if I go to this Exchange and go to services, so these are all three Exchange servers. I'm going to check with server number 3. So if I go into services here and go down to POP3, you can see it is set to manual, it is not started, and same goes for, so this is a default setting in Exchange. This protocol is not used. So in order to work with this protocol, all we need to do is first of all make sure that this protocol, this is set to automatic, plus it is started. So it is set to automatic plus it is started. Just make sure that it is set to automatic and now it's started. Same goes for IMAP4. So now without doing this, you won't be able to use POP3 protocol in your Exchange environment. So this is exactly what we need to do here. I just started it, but I never changed it to automatic. We change it to automatic so that if in any case server restarts, if it is set to automatic, the service will be started. If it is set to manual, service won't be started. So here I'm going to do the same thing on second Exchange server because we need to enable this in our Exchange environment. So let's see, going into services, going into IMAP4. Now on this you won't find this, most probably this is not a mailbox server. This does not have it does not have, it's not a CAS server, but it's a CAS server protocol. So as you can see, there is no POP3 or IMAP4. Just to confirm this, let's check on this server and see that if number 2 is a CAS server. So CAS servers are only these two servers, which means 2 is not a CAS server. That's why you don't find those services in here. Now, so what is this server then? So if you go to mailbox server, you see it is one of the mailbox servers. So we have 3 mailbox server in this environment and 2 hub transport CAS and mailbox hub transport CAS and mailbox server. So that is why. Now on CAS, since it is here, let's make sure in services that POP3 and IMAP4 is enabled. So here it is set to manual. Let's enable it. Automatic, start. Started. Same goes for IMAP4. Set to automatic and start. You know, if we don't do this, then IMAP protocol won't work. Actually, I should have shown you that if it doesn't work without doing this. So let's log on with any account. Now the question is, can we use OVA to access POP3? No, OVA cannot be used to access. You must have a mailbox client. That is, Outlook can be used to work with. Outlook can use POP3 to receive emails. So if we go to a client, we can set up our Outlook. We can set up Outlook. So here for now, if I go into this here account setting, I have 2 accounts configured here. There is one configured with POP3, this account, and the other account is this. So I previously made these accounts, so let me delete these accounts. So they are both deleted. And here this is a local copy of the mailbox. It's not even connected. So it's not this is a local copy. There has to be one default copy of account. It is actually this one, and it is a default copy. Let's try to remove it. You won't be able to remove this one, so it's fine. Now let's configure POP3 account. How to configure POP3? So first of all, let me show you how to configure MAPI. I mean, by now, if you've seen the previous videos, you can see what is the MAPI client. We can go here within email address. So my client is restarting, I think due to security updates. Let's let it restart. Once it is restarted, then I'm gonna reconfigure POP3 account. Now in order to configure POP3 account, we need to do this. First of all, we need to start these services. Without starting these services, it won't work, number 1. Number 2, you need to make sure that the user who needs to have POP3 who needs to use POP3 client within the, for example, Muhammad Ali needs to use POP3 account. We need to go into this account properties. I just double clicked on this. account, and should be opening momentarily. So here, and you need to go to mailbox features, and here you see POP3. Now if this is disabled, then POP3 will not work. So first part was to go to CAS and enable POP. Make sure POP3 is, actually we never did anything in POP3. We just went here in this. I think you don't need to do anything in here. Just leave the default. Yes, one thing that you do need to do in this environment, since we do not have any certificates installed, so for the test environment, make sure this setting is set to plain text. So one setting is you go to client, go to POP3, then go to POP3, and here change this authentication method to this. Other than this, you don't need to do anything. And secondly, we need to go to the services, make sure services are started and set to automatic, both services. And third, we need to go to each client and make sure, by default actually on each client, the mailbox feature is enabled. Just make sure that it is enabled so they can use this protocol. So here, and then one more thing, in Hub Transport Server we need to go into default client, and here we need to set anonymous user. So these four things we need to do for POP3. So here once, and you need to make sure on both servers. So both servers we need to go anonymous should be set up. Now once this is all done, we can go to the client, log into client, and log in with the password, and we're ready to set up the POP3 account. Now POP3 account can be configured within Outlook. It can be configured in any client and any mail client that can support POP3. So once this logs in, we can connect. So it is logging in, Outlook is starting. We'll go here, we'll go into account settings, we go into account settings. Here I'm going to say new account. If you set up here, this will be MAPI client. This will make it MAPI client. I can connect, can write the username here and email address, password. It will automatically go to Exchange and try to connect using that account, but that will be MAPI protocol. But in order to set up POP3, we need to go to manually, next. Here you see it says connect through POP3 and IMF4. So select internet email, go here, write the name. So here the person that I want to connect to is, let's say, administrator account, and email address is administrator@canf.pri, and here we need to write the Exchange server name. So Exchange server name is canf dc exch 01, and you can write FQDN or you don't write FQDN, doesn't matter, because we are in the same network. And password, test the connection. If all those settings are correct, maybe the password is not correct, or username, it failed, and here your mail server, your email server rejected the login. So definitely there is some issue with this. Administrator canf.pri, and here I have cn canf dc exch01. This is the canf dc exch01. The name is correct. Administrator. So let's see if administrator account is fine. How can we make sure? So I'm gonna go here, log off. I'm just wanted to make sure that if canf's username and login is fine. I'm just gonna log in with this account. So yes, username and password is correct. So here I'll go in mailbox and see where is this account sitting. So this is the administrator account, and I need to see which server it is sitting on. Account is this. Let's go inside and go into mailbox feature. I do see POP3 is enabled for this user. Plus I need to see which database it is sitting on. So I can go here, go to add remove columns, and add a database column here. So it adds the database, and let's see where is it sitting. So this is sitting on this database 77735. Let's see where is this database sitting. It is sitting on this database on this server. So it's on the same server. Database is mounted. Everything is fine. Why is it not connecting? So let's try again. So administrator at canis.pri, and here, okay, so let's try domain name and login. Incoming server POP3 has rejected your login. Verify username and password. Account settings. Server responding. Username and password failure. Okay. So let's try another account. So the other account is, maybe there is some issue with this account. So let's try shather. Now shather is also sitting on the same server. So shather, email address is shather@pri. So I'll go here and say shather and shather, username shather, password is the same. I use standard password for all of them, P capital password 1. Let's see what happens. So this one is working. So there is definitely something wrong with that account. I think the password is expired or about to expire, or it needs changing. But this one, POP3 settings, if this is correct, if this is working, it means that our POP3 setting is working and POP3 account is configured. So it's right here. Where's that account? Let me close that and open it again. So here, this is a shather's account. Now let me try sending an email to myself. So I'm gonna send it to shather. Test. And going into message, send. So sending, let's see, send and receive. It says that your message did not reach some or all of the intended recipient. Why? shather at canis.com. Okay, com doesn't exist. What am I doing? So here again, shather at canis.pri. Test, send. Hopefully it should go and retrieve the email. I can do send and receive, and I can receive that email. So which means shather account is working now. Here it's not displaying it properly, maybe because initially when I created the account it was written as like this, but it's fine as long as this account is here. We can always go reconfigure it. So guys, this is how POP3 and IMF4 is configured now, and this is what how our CAS works. In the next video I'm going to show you hub transport server role. Guys, thank you for watching this video. I'm gonna see you in the next video.